going along the same bit of road I have been the last couple of videos, sort of, apart from in the car this time. A car with brakes! So cheers Rab, and apologies to Rab, and his wife, and the girl in the shop for filming with me for yesterday's video, which I couldn't be bothered editing at all. I've no idea what I said during it, kind of in a wee bit of a daze on my long walk. 8 miles I've walked this year, really? Better watch that. If it wasn't for the kebabs I'd be fit. So I've sold my wee Badger guitar. The guy, he said something about having cracked his ribs, so he's off work this week. He's like, I don't think he drives, so he's like, I can meet you in town, or it's like, I can meet you in Cumbernauld, which is kind of halfway between me and Airdrie, and if the guy's got knackered ribs, I figured I would just drive to his house. So it's about a 15-minute detour, assuming I'm going over to Scott's anyway, and he's got brides, so it's a 15-minute detour, and I figured him having to, I'm sure that bus journey with broken ribs is not going to be much fun for him, so I thought, sod it, I'll do the right thing, I'll drop it off at his house. I am fashionably late, of course. Between 1 and 2 was what I said last night, and it's now 10 to 2, and I'm half an hour away, so 20 minutes late. That's I've told them that. That's better than not having. Better than not turning up. A lot better than not turning up. Or saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow instead. Well, yeah. So.
Continue straight onto Ledgate and turn left onto East Side.
Oh, it's actually said to me that way. Cool. Yeah, so I'm basically just going to be going to Cumbernauld, straight through Airdrie, straight along the road, past Chrissy, and I can never remember, View Park, is it? Something near Uddingston, and then in below the M74, straight to East Kilbride, easy. Troy's there again today, so I was going to, I had a packet of cold meat I bought last night because I was going out a date today. I was going to take that over and make friends with Troy, because I'm sure if I turned up and gave him a packet of cold meat, ham, he would have been his friend forever. Not that he's not very friendly anyway. But you know, dog biscuits are fine and stuff like that, but what, cold meat? Dog's gonna love that.
50 yards, and the roundabout, continue straight onto Hillhead Road.
What's going on here? Just takes one arsehole, really, doesn't it? One person who decides, oh, I don't really know how roundabouts work. I'll just sit here and I'll wait until there's nobody else anywhere near the roundabout, because I'm not sure whose right of way it is.
At the roundabout, take the second exit onto Redbray Road.
I lost my GPS signal, but it's back, so happy with that. So what am I taking over to see Scott? His jazz bass, which I fixed. What else? The Yoshi, which I keep playing that guitar. It's awful good, that Yoshi. Just, I think part of it's been played so much, but compared to the Grant guitars, it's the same guitar. But I don't know, maybe the only real difference between it and the Grant is the paint job. But maybe that's enough. That's enough to make it a bit more exciting. It's not as good condition as the Grant one, but or maybe it's just because it's new and I've put 9s on it and it's running really well. I don't think I really did up the Grant. I got it off Wayne. So he gave me it, I think. I might have swapped it for something. I think, to be honest, he just gave it to me. But because it had come off, you know, one of us, it was clean and sort of been set up. So I didn't really, you know, strip it right down to bits, totally gut it, and then rebuild it to the absolute best I can, because it already worked. So I think that sometimes happens with guitars. Generally a lot of the best ones I've got are ones that I got that were really, really banky, therefore they had to be completely stripped and rebuilt, and yeah, just like right down to the point of, you know, taking off the tuners, cleaning them on their own, then putting them back on again. Wee things like that, and then just making everything on it perfect makes such a difference to a guitar. You know, it's like a lot of people buy a guitar and they get their, you know, they upgrade their guitar and stuff like that. Really what it really wants is just a good good, clean, and just I'm making sure all the screws are properly tightened, and all just wee things. Get it as good as you can. I've also got that off James May in one of the Top Gear programmes. They bought shit cars for £500 each or something. They had to go to a concourse. The concourse, when people go and show off their cars that are in pure mint condition. And James May spent the entire time just cleaning the boot of the car. And it was the question I keep asking myself is it as clean as it can be? And if it's no, then you keep going until it's as clean as you can get it. And it's like, well, there's an element of that. I mean, okay, it doesn't really matter whether the machine heads are a bit dusty or any of that stuff, but when it's clean, it just goes ping and looks amazing, and therefore you play it better. It's my thinking anyway. I took the Oshie over. I've taken over I asked my pal Ian if I could take over that PRS Silver Sky. I don't know, I mean, the thing about it, it's a lovely guitar, it's really nice. I'm just pure prejudice against it. I hate being pure prejudice against anything, but it's just that whole PRS snobbery thing, which might be entirely invented by myself. I don't know. I'm not sure I like. I don't know. It's not one I would buy, I don't think, but not for. I can't think. I've got no reason for not buying it, or something like it. I did have my pal Mo's got a PRS Custom 24 that like that guitar. But the SE factory is not the same factory all the time. So if you buy one of the ones from 10 years ago, it's not. It's the same shape, but it says PRS SE in the headstock. But that's where the commonalities change. I mean, this guitar is not a cheap one, £900. Although it was a special. I actually saw the video last week before, when Andersons were doing it. It was like they had, I think it came in 4 or 5 colours, and they basically at £900, and they sold them all apart from the cream one and the green one. So my pal just jumped on the, a third off. It's like £900 and £600. That's £300 off. That's what I would spend on a couple of guitars off this guitar. Probably shouldn't be wearing that hat. Yeah. So I'm interested to see what Scott thinks of the PRS. I don't know. It's a difficult one. I don't know if I've got a strong opinion on it. I think basically the video I did last night was all, and I'm hoping that I told Scott to try not see the video last night, so that it'll be a surprise for him, what's in the bag, blah blah blah. And if he had no idea, I'm going to put like a blindfold on or something like that, put a hat over his head, so he's got to try and guess what it is. But I don't know, it depends whether he managed to avoid seeing the thumbnail of my video last night. Yeah, but the pickups in it are fantastic. That I can't disagree with. I think maybe it's something about the idea, but the way everything's just 5% different or 10% different. So you can't put strat knobs on it because then it'll be a strat, so we'll put very nearly strat knobs on it. Right? It seems to be a little bit of doing these things not for a functional reason. And it's not like even the knobs or the pickup selector switch are in any way improved, or even they're not even trying to be improved. They're just, it's just to make it so it's not exactly the same as a Strat, and it's like still is a PRS Strat. Pissing about it. And also I'm taking over the Paul Gilbert, and I'll be able to find out for sure whether it does actually have the Wizard neck on it or not.
Exit the roundabout onto B8048.
I find myself, I've also got cheers to Rab yesterday for fixing my brakes. It was quite good. It didn't cost as much as I expected it to. He did say, when I said to him, I was like, yeah, so get my brakes. He was like, my wife booked in, I don't even know what it is I'm in for. So I just tell the Panda. He was like, aye. And he went, oh good, that's good, they're good for parts. I think brakes can be a very different thing depending on which car it is you've got. That's kind of one of the reasons I'm still pleased that I didn't do the Ibanez swap. I was going to swap my Roadster for Scott's Jag. Not the one he's got just now, his previous Jag, which was an Estate. Too litre diesel, you know. Well, lovely car and massive. It's got estates, so a bit more in it. But things like brake pads for a Jag probably cost 3 times as much as they do for this. I don't think I would have got the brakes done for 120 quid. You know, it'd probably be like 400 quid. And it's like, so these things add up, and I would be constantly worrying about getting that bill, the one I keep talking about, the bill that's not worth fixing the car for. Besides, I love a wee Panda. It's a funny wee go-karty thing. See the difference I noticed when I was driving down at Hard Rock Hill a few months ago with Ian, and took his wife's car, which is I think it was a Corsa. Which you think I had my granny's old car was a Corsa, but it was the original Corsa. I drove that for a year until it blew up, and it was like this. Whereas in the modern car, it's like, you know, the windows are much smaller, and you know, you're kind of looking, and it's obviously much more modern and much more luxurious and stuff like that. But the difference when I went back into this car after I dropped Ian off and picked up this was like I could totally see everywhere. It's like a greenhouse with wheels. You know, it's totally unbeatable for visibility around about you because it's just a box. I don't need luxury. It's luxury for it. That's not like one of the reasons I got on so well with the Pandas, because at the time when we had the first Panda, was my dad used for work, my wee brother left home and we left it lying in the driveway without an MOT for about 2 years. We cleaned it up and I was going to sell it. So let's try using it, just use it for 6 months until we get a van. And it was like, totally, this thing's great, it's pure tiny. And the amount of shit that fits in the back is ridiculous. It takes my big Marshall if you unbolt the seats. But it takes the other Marshall without it. And currently I've got 5 guitars and 6 guitars in the car. And it just takes totally fine. Which you don't think of being a big thing, but then as you actually go into other cars, it's like a lot of them have, like, you know, padding and styling and all these things. I don't think you need any of that crap. It's got the luxury things I need. It's got a heater. It's actually quite good. Electric windows. Is there anything else you could class as luxury? Is a rev counter is a luxury item. Got a rev counter. It's got the computer in it. It tells me how many miles I've got for it to fill up. What my average mileage has been. 109,000 miles I've done. 1,009 miles on the trip. 118,000 miles has cost them. 95 miles to go. 1,093. I think that was how many miles I've done since I went down to download, to be honest. And I'm currently on this trip getting 61.3 miles to the gallon, which isn't bad, seeing as I'm really basically just driving to the shop just now. And actually the last couple of days I've been having to defrost it, so it's been sitting in the drive running for 10 minutes before I went anywhere.
Exit the roundabout.
And I've been driving it without brakes. Well, the brakes weren't fucked, they weren't absolutely goosed, they were just a wee bit of a grindy noise. One of the calipers wasn't quite catching on it. It still worked, but I was just not using them. But the thing is, it's like, I don't really use the brakes anyway. You have to be going too fast to use the brakes. Whereas I just like kind of generally just don't go fast enough to do that. I just get used to it. My original idea for getting a diesel was I used to have a Berlingo van, and basically it was really underpowered, it was really slow, so basically I just had to drive it like a rally car all the time. You know, foot was constantly to the floor, constantly at maximum revs, just to drive it normally. So that was the thinking of the diesel. So basically I can actually boot this a little bit, but it's not. I don't think it's slow. Really, not hugely slow. I mean, you notice that having you've got 4 folk in it and you're coming onto a motorway on-ramp. Okay, you have to kind of boot it a little bit to accelerate very well with that, but I mean, that's 99% of the time it's just me in the car. And it doesn't really make any difference having 2 folk, so when you put 4 folk in, you suddenly start going, oh, hold on. You know, the brakes don't slow it down as quick, it doesn't accelerate as quick, and it leans into corners a bit. Airdrie's a strange place.
Continue on A73 for 3/4 of a mile.
All these places, I'm sitting there complaining that we've been out in the sticks. With Airdrie, I'm more out in the sticks. So I think I said this in yesterday's video. At least these are going out in order, because yesterday's video of me walking back to go and get the car was yesterday, and today I will put this out as tomorrow's video, or this will be the intro to it. Just talking shit again. I might not make it a full day video. It might be a lunchtimey job, you know, to try and up it. It's worth it. People tend to watch it. I think that the only thing I've got to not do with videos is put them all out one after the other. I did that with the Ibanez Roadster. I had 3 videos and I put them out at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and I basically got the same amount of views that I would have got for putting out one. So that's not how to do it. But I think the lunchtime one, maybe if the videos are very different from each other, like this, I don't mind going slowly, but I really. Driving at 30 and a 40 is pish, especially when it's a big open road that I was thinking should be like a 50 or a 60. Oh, they've sped up just about the scene. Oh, it's going down to one lane. Better speed up in case somebody tries to get in front of us, so drive up to 40 until we get to the thin bit. There we go, it's at the thin bit, and back down to 30. And worse than that, he's got a fucking Union Jack on the back of his car. A big UK on it. You have to be a certain type of ignorant, I think, to still think that if you're from Scotland. Whereas Westminster just reversed a Scottish government decision yesterday. Something to do with trans rights or something like that, which I don't really know anything about anyway. But yeah, of course it's trans rights. But they made their all the people we voted for, all voted for it. All went through, and London's gone, I think we're going to change the law so you're not allowed to make laws anymore. Right. That's great. And why would they have done that? It's because if Scotland does it, then there'll be pressure for England to do it. And if the government do that, what happens to all the racist bigots? They're not going to be happy. You've got to make sure that if you have policies that are against brown people or gay people, you are pretty much guaranteed 10% of the vote. Not most English people, but you are guaranteed, if you say we hate black people, you will get X amount of votes guaranteed. So they can't throw those away, because that's the difference between winning an election and losing an election, is that 5% or 10%. That was how the Brexit thing happened as well. Always going to get the racists were always going to vote for that, no matter what anything else does. Normal people would look at, what are the policies? Oh, is that a good idea? Think about it. Whereas you're just guaranteed you're always going to get that 5% or 10% that will vote for anything that's anti-foreigners. And unfortunately, that's exactly what's happened. So if you're still here and you're driving about Airdrie with a UK sticker on the back of your car with a big, really look anything up. You obviously know that the BBC's owned by the same millionaires who make a lot of money by making people poor, and the same with obviously Rupert Murdoch, being an absolute bastard, owns all the papers. So basically just go onto, I don't know, Facebook, YouTube, something like that when it's not things, just put in, why does Scotland want to be independent? And look at that, and then just watch that. And then see what you think. I did that at the very start when the first independence referendum came down, because I didn't think it was a particularly good idea. So I thought, it's coming up next month or something like that. I better look up. So I looked up YouTube videos. So I look up YouTube videos of why does Scotland want to be independent, and I saw me as a young guy, teenager guy, just talking about it, and I was like, oh my god, we're being pumped. So I was like, right, okay, I'd better look up the other side. What are the advantages of staying in the Win Any videos? I'm like, what? It's because there aren't any. It's like the only videos you're going to get from that side are from the news, which is specifically designed and only allowed to say certain things, so they can put their spin on it, but they can't outright just lie. You know, it's like if you look up any advantage of staying in the union, you'll hear slogans. We're better together. The broad shoulders of the union. These things, no actual reasons, because there aren't any. We're getting pumped. We should not be in here. We should not be here being an oil-producing country and paying the most in the UK for the oil. All the oil goes straight to London. They tax the factory. Well, they don't. They just give the money to their pals and then sell it back to us at more than they sell it to anyone else in Britain. Yeah. Oh, what a great union that is. And how's it a union? A union implies there's some sort of you can leave a union because we're not allowed to. They made it illegal. Right. Far we get away from that now. How can you even be happy with, you know, the trade union shit that's going on just now? How can you possibly think that's all right? That they're going to bring out a law to make trade unions illegal so you can't protest? It's like, well, we know we got rid of slavery a few hundred years ago, but we're doing our damnedest to get it back. Let's get that slavery back. The 1% richest folk, the people who matter, obviously the people who went to Eton, but they're only getting 20% richer every year. We want to try and get that up a little bit. What about the people that are dying? Fuck them, they're not real people. The Tory way, and that wee bastard Sunak just want to punch him. What a completely out of touch little prince or something, an aristocrat. Yeah. So, a wee political rant to get me going. I have to do the political rants here because I can't do it with Scott, because he's even worse than me. The two of us just agreeing and all this shit. He was not happy. Someone mentioned in the video when I think we went the Jim Deacon one, we were driving over. It was like we took Scott's Jag. Someone had commented, obviously because he knew how fucking offensive it was, and it was meant to be funny, and it was really funny. Clap your Scott's obviously a Tory, you can tell by the Jag. And it was like, whoa. So, you wouldn't say that to his face. Or you would, but you would say it, laugh and run away as quickly as you could. It's become quite an offensive term. La, stick my fingers in my ears. Just listen to what the Tories are saying. Don't look at anything they've done. No. Just look at what they're saying. Oh yeah, oh no. Legal immigrants are totally fine. No, as long as they come in through the proper legal channels. What is the proper legal channel? There isn't one. There's no way of doing it. So there's basically impossible. If you're Ukrainian or whatever other country, one of the countries that we're bombing or supplying all the weapons to, you can't get here. You're not allowed to come here. What happens if your whole family's moved here 10 years ago? Nah.
Exit the roundabout onto Motherwell Street.
You can just die of cold and hunger.
Take the second exit and stay on Motherwell Street.
Such a small amount of money. Like in the terms of the amount of money they're talking about throwing about, you know, with your corporate profits and stuff like that. Such a small percentage of that would just make so many people's lives much better. But obviously that's given it to people who are poor. Why would you give, you know, give £10 to someone who's poor and they'll be able to buy food with it? Give £10 to an Etonite or something and it's like, oh, £10, alright. So sort of thing, if they dropped it and landed in a puddle, they wouldn't pick it up.
Take the first exit onto Forest Street, B89.
So I'll leave this rant for just now. I got a wee bit agitated politically there, as you all should if you're in Scotland. Look it up. Don't just believe what I say. Look it up. Look up why should Scotland be independent, or just look up why the Conservative Party in England absolute bastards by any definition of the word. The main problem is, I'm not quite finished ranting yet, is there's no other choice for English people. It's like the Labour Party again have the same problem that the Tories do. Whereas if they put out policies that aren't racist, the racists won't vote for them. That's then lost 5% or 10% of their vote, which isn't enough to win. So they've got to do something that keeps the racists on board. Why? Like fucking why pander? It's like just fuck them. Bastards. Raging. Casual.
Take the second exit and stay on Calder Street, B753.
So I'm now on the cross-country route from Airdrie to East Kilbride, taking me down all sorts of wee windy roads. There's a sat-nav which I'm just obviously blindly following. So that's me dropped off the Badger, lovely guy. Got an Epiphone to fix up for him as well. Get an impression of who I was. I do you want it. So it's a 97, I think, with I as the serial number. I know the ones that start with S or Samick, so I is something else. I'm not sure whether it's Korean or Chinese or what. It says that the pickups just feedback like mad. I reckon there's something wrong with the wiring, and it's like, not sure about that. Generally, I don't think wiring, unless it's seriously messed up, can really cause the feedbacky thing. It's more likely the pickups are rubbish, which is the ones in my Epiphone SG are terrible. So it might be a case of just sticking something else in. He wants me to change the pickup rings as well. So I've got something else. Like, what do you mean something else? It's like ones that aren't these ones. So I'll have a look through my parts box. I do actually have a set of pickups. I get pickups ages ago. They were Invader style ones that came with pickup rings that were kind of almost tie-dyed looking. They were sort of pink and purple. Sort of looked a wee bit like, you know, the Ibanez swirls. Oh, I know where we are. I can't remember what lights we used to have to drive up here with my dad for some reason. Must have been between B&Q and where we were working. There's just a straight road here to hang me about to go over the M8, I think. That's when I'm going straight over it. Yes, that takes me to another place I used to work when I was a courier in Barhill, Barhead, something. I'm about to drive past it. So I've got an interesting guitar to do up. Action's dead high. It's a Trust Road's not seen an Allen key for decades. So it'd be quite interesting to get it up and working properly. But yeah, good today, but I haven't had an Epiphone Les Paul for a while, so, or any sort of Les Paul, see how it fares. They're normally really well built. Well, the older ones are normally really well built. Much better than the newer ones. But the newer ones have much better hardware. Same with Squire as well. I think hardware got cheaper, and because hardware got cheaper, they went, oh, hold on, this hardware's alright, let's make the body and the neck and the frets and stuff much cheaper now. Plus this one's got a bit of age to it. It's really good. It's going to look good amazing once it's clean. It's just one of those dusty. It's got a slight issue with the electrics, so it's just sat there for probably 10 years. I don't think this guy drives either. So you'll be getting charged an extra tenner for dropping it back off again. Probably. You could get charging people money. Yeah, so at least I'm not ending on the political rant it was earlier on. It keeps sneaking up on me, even though I disconnected from all the YouTube and Facebook stuff. I just ended up getting more and more annoyed the more I find out. So it's like you know, the decision's been made. They're not trying to convert me anymore. So what's the point in getting upset about it? All I can really do is just sit here, and then when it comes to, I'll maybe go to the next march, and I will vote with a conscience. I'll vote not like a bastard next time. Well, I voted like a bastard. Well, last time there was a wee bit of a mess up. was it the local elections, and there was eight people you could vote for, and I was advised, or I saw on one of the the Facebook things or the YouTube things, that if you just voted for one, you want the SNP guy, whatever, so you just put a tick in that box and don't tick any of the other boxes, or don't put a number. You had to number them to put your preference, and it's like if you did that, then whoever was the second most popular thing automatically got your second vote. So I could vote for SNP, and then technically, if I didn't use my second vote, the second vote would go to the Conservative guy, who's obviously an absolute bastard, because they all are. So I was happy, right? Looked at it, you had to number them 1 to 8. So I saw the Tory put 8 at it, and then worked my way down, and then I inadvertently realised that number 7, which I hadn't voted for last, was the marriage and family or something like that. It was like totally, make homosexuals illegal, take away all their right, oops. But I don't think they got very many votes anyway. The Christian Family Party, I think it was called, and there's like their spiel on it when I looked them up. I was like, yes, the Bible says. Oh, really? I'm afraid I just have very little time for religion. I'm sure most of the people who are religious look at it. The problem is it's so interpretable different ways. Nothing worse than someone who's absolutely in their heart got the knowledge that God's behind them, but they're actually going out killing people. How did you work out that that's what the Bible told you? And it's like I don't know anything about the 10 Commandments. I'm pretty sure the first one is thou shalt not kill. You don't need to read that bit, but if you look at this sentence and this sentence, and then you imagine there's a sentence in the middle, then just read the sentence in the middle that says kill people. Right. Not really my experience. I used to go to Sunday school and stuff like that. Christens and all that crap. But I seem to remember. I think I stopped going to Sunday school when I started asking too many questions about Noah's Ark. All the animals on one boat, really, all of them. There's millions. Right. Don't ask questions. Okay. So if there was a flood, then no, don't stop asking questions, Malcolm. What about like kangaroos and stuff? So how did they get to the Ark when they were in Australia? They had to go across oceans. Stop asking questions, and then go back. Which I don't think was really anything to do with me. Yeah. The original idea of it. Why wouldn't it be nicer if people were nice to each other? How can we make people be nice to each other? Let's put the fear of God in them. So if they're not nice to each other, they go to hell. Right. Okay. The problem is it doesn't work that way. All your if you go to like your school shootings and shit in America, they're all very, very believe that God's on their side, and it's like it's not really. But I'm pretty sure if you ever actually talked to Jesus, he would go, "You did what? What? Why? No, everything I fucking ever said was the exact opposite." That would be assuming that Jesus was, of course, from Fife. Hey, what are you doing, Ken? Ken, don't kill people. Yes, I might just be going slightly mad today. It's lovely having my car back. Oh, there's the ABS light on again, damn it. I wonder what's causing that. Maybe when I get my MOT I'll get to take off the ABS light. I think that, to be honest, the ABS light is entirely separate from the brakes that weren't working. It's a different thing. It just so happened that was when I really started thinking that. I mean, looking at that brake, taking it off. Also, annoyingly, the wheel that I did take off when I was going to try and change the brake pads, because I assumed that was what was wrong, was only held on with 3 bolts, one of them was sheared. I wasn't very happy knowing about that. What was it? Driven tens of thousands of miles in this car with only three bolts in it. But now, once I knew there was only 3, I started thinking, oh God, especially with slightly dodgy brakes or something like that. I don't want, I'm leaning around this corner enough for much, I hope it doesn't come off. But that's fixed. He drilled it out, put another bolt in, so I'm back on 4 bolts. That's what you want. 4 bolts holding your wheels on. I wonder if it was one of those funny locky ones that was burst actually. You're not normally meant to get like a special key for alloy wheels. Or do they not bother with that in Pandas? I think it's the first car I've had in alloys. The second car I've had in alloys. The last Panda had them as well. That was why one of the reasons I wanted to keep. I kept it in my driveway for 2 years. Was 1 for stealing parts, and 2 that it had 2 fucking new tyres on it that I just put on it before the engine blew up, and then I didn't want to waste them. And then obviously I got this car, the wheels are different sizes. I think it was the low profile ones that were on the other one, but this one does ride slightly better. I think having the size of tyres, the size of wheels, not so much the tyres, the size of wheels that were actually designed to fit on your car is probably a good thing. Getting other ones that look cool probably isn't as good as actually having just the proper ones. Another month before this gets its next MOT, and fingers crossed it gets it. I do love this wee car. I don't want it to. I don't want to lose it. I think I'll just buy another one. I don't know if I would necessarily buy a diesel one. For the amount of times I actually go long distance, or actually get to use it. But I don't know. It's in that. I do prefer diesel engines. I'm too used to where the power is in a diesel. It's in a different place. Like a petrol's quite instantaneous, but you run out of power, whereas a diesel takes a wee while to go, but you've got like a big power band once it's going, it starts. I mean, also when diesel engines don't generally break down. It doesn't start, then okay, it's fucked, but if it starts, then it's not going to stop, whereas petrol, because there's all that electricity going on, that you're possible driving along and the petrol engine just stops working because it runs out of electricity. Whereas a diesel, once it gets going, getting a bit technical there, doesn't have spark plugs, it's just friction, or whatever you call it, however it works. So you can basically disconnect the battery from a running diesel engine and let it stay running. Was my point. And driving home without any lights or heating or power steering or anything like that isn't that much fun, but it's better than being stuck somewhere. I have to buy petrol on the way home. Not a problem. Still staying out. That's got my wee orange light on saying onto my reserve tank, so I've got 112 miles in the tank. It's definitely not 112 miles to get home from Scots. Probably 120. Not even as much as that. So I think I've pretty much done talking about Paul Gilbert, I suppose. I got my money back for that. I think I mentioned that in the blog yesterday. Because, I don't know, I've not really played it enough. Kind of getting there. I want it to be an absolute pristine playing guitar. Currently it isn't. Again, I think if it had been more knackered, then I would probably have stripped it down. I just wanted to play it. I've got that issue with the pickups as well, where it's like, I don't know if I really. It's got the pickups that are in it are really good, but when I made an offer on it, the guy offered me a set of DiMarzio Evos for an extra 50 quid. It's like, I actually looked at my eBay buying. What do you call it? Your homepage, not homepage. I can't remember. Your eBay homepage. It shows you the other things you've been bidding on, and it turns out I was actually bidding on a black DiMarzio Evo, and it went for 50 quid for a solitary black one. I can't remember which guitar it was for. I'd imagine I was probably watching it when it was like a tenner or something. You know, thinking if I could get that for 20 quid or something, I would go for it, but it went for 50, so that's what the... And I bought 3 of them for 50 quid, so it's got to be worth more than that. Probably goes against them a bit being whites though. I think you can probably put black pickups in anything, but white pickups are like a bit, well, even worse than that, they're white with gold poles. I wonder, that's one of the reasons I don't know whether I want to put them in the Paul Gilbert, because it kind of looks quite good with the 2 black pickups and the white single coil in the middle, whereas if I put in the white ones, it's going to change the aesthetic of the guitar. It's going to look more like what it should do. And basically after that, really the only difference between the PGM 30, which is the one I've got, and the one Paul Gilbert actually made, which is the PGM 300. I think 300's the one with the Floyd Rose on it, and the 301 is the one that's hardtail. But so I don't have the same Floyd Rose. The Floyd Rose in it's a kind of basic old-fashioned Floyd Rose, which is fine, I think. And I've got a rosewood fingerboard instead of a maple fingerboard, and also pickup rings, which that's how you can tell the PGM 30 from the other ones. It must be more expensive to not have pickup rings. The more expensive guitar doesn't have pickup rings. It means you get metal ones, which you need to be a bit of a Paul Gilbert expert to know. I could have spotted it from a mile away and go, oh, it's a Paul Gilbert one, there you go, it's white with the 2 F holes on it. Yep. I wouldn't have known whether it had which model it was. It doesn't say on it. It's made in Japan from... There is another one actually. There's a PGM 3 which came out the year after it, which is like a budget model. I don't know what that is. You couldn't really find anything about them on... Like, basically Reverb I was looking at. There's not that many kicking about. Whether people just keep them or it's because I'm looking for one specific model. You know, the RG thing's a whole other world of guitars. I keep watching them. This all came from that guy down south a couple of months ago. I was like, I think this is only 5 minutes away from me. I don't know if you want me. I can. You give me money, I'll go and buy it for you, and you'll post it to you. And it was like, it was a really nice. It was gold, an RG. I don't know which RG it was, but it was a Japanese one from the early 90s, I think. It was like 250 quid or something like that. It was like, hold on here. You can get a Japanese one for that kind of money. Not every week. But if you keep looking about, you might be able to get one like that. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'll maybe have a wee look at these things. Then the Paul Gilbert one showed up. A cool looking one. I doubt it's my last RG though. I've got a sort of funny feeling when I go and play Scott's ones. So you even see that Scott's expensive one, the Team J-Craft one. They're not that expensive. They're expensive for me, but they're not. You know, less than that PRS Silver Sky. You can get a Team J-Craft, which is like the one, that black one Scott's got, which is fucking titanium bridging. It's pure ridiculous. The Apache attack helicopter. And there's one of them for sale. I think it's 550 quid on eBay. And you're like, what? 550 quid doesn't, you know. Almost still Squire thing, and you're getting a Team J-Craft made by one guy in the Japanese factory, and I'm pretty impressed with it. But could even be the same guy that made my Roadster, you know what I mean? I think one of the things that Fujigen have is like a lot of the people that have worked there since they were at school, sort of thing. So when they left school, made Roadsters, now they're heads of the custom shop division. I think that there's a lot of that kind of Japanese attitude. You know, I'm pretty sure I've seen a video where, like, you know, all the people in the factory out the front for 10 minutes every morning with doing exercises, that kind of thing, where it's like, you know, a big family thing, which and not racist, no. I just don't think Japanese seem to be very into that, which is a good thing. There's a mad car park I've never seen before. Crazy place for a car park, huh? Okay, let's be here. Catch you later.